When I also entered, there were people who were like, oh, your nose is slightly like there's a bone that's slightly teda. The minute things. Of course, all of us are not perfect, but then that's what's great about you, right? That's what's unique. Like when I smile, I have this little skin here, which shows.
And that's so cute.
So I don't care. I don't want to have the perfect smile. I want to have a real smile. I asked my mother that, does it like how is it? Is it like very painful? What to what extent? And the answer that I got was that, yeah, when I was delivering you, I thought I was going to die. Women can deliver a child, have the child in the womb for 9 months, and deliver the child. Delivery probably the most painful thing. I don't think men can go through it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rajani, and welcome to Speak Easy. I hope you're safe. Your friends and family are all safe as well. Today, I have a very special guest, someone who's been making this journey on her own for quite a while. She's an outsider and a proud one at that, who came into the industry with dreams, and today you see her going the path that she always wanted to by choosing projects where she's headlining them and also telling us very interesting stories. I'm talking about the very talented Kriti Sanon. Hello, Kriti.
Hi, thank you so much for such a lovely introduction.
We've always discussed about how when you're in the industry, you don't get a plethora of choices.
Yeah.
So you did the same. You picked whatever you got because at that time, getting work and putting yourself out there was important.
In the beginning, that's true, especially when you don't come from a film background, it kind of is you're figuring your space and finding and choosing from what you get. So you're right.
Yeah, and today with the trailer launch of Mimi, a project that you had whispered to me a long time back. The trailer launch of Mimi happened where you're of course headlining it along with such talented actors, and of course the premise of the script gives you so much scope as an actor to explore what you have. It kind of feels surreal that
of course, and I have lived with this film I think for so long and so deep. And I think that was more than a whisper that I did to your in your ears.
That's true.
I have been harping, when sometimes, at least it happens with me, when I am really in love with something and I'm very passionate about it, I go on and I harp about it and I talk to people and I end up telling people the story of the film before it actually comes out because I am so obsessed and excited and passionate about it. I told you the mota premises of the film and what it's about, and yeah, it's a really special story. I think when I think I was kind of eager to perform a slightly more meteor layered part, get a platform where I can do more than what I was already doing. And I think I was ready to headline a film. It is a very big responsibility. I think when you're headlining a film, when the film is about you, when you're going to be there in every single frame of it, because you know that there are, of course, the actors that you're working with. It's a collaborative process, but there is nothing else apart from you and the story that is going to attract the audience in the first place. So I feel I was ready, but I was looking for something that touches my heart. And when I heard the script of Mimi, I swear I was like, I didn't even hear the script. I heard the one line of it.
Oh, really? What was that?
Dino and I were were going to take a flight. And on the flight, he told me that, there's this film Mimi, which I want to make. And it's about this girl who wants to become an actress, and she has big dreams, and she stays in Mandava, and she doesn't have the money to kind of achieve her dreams and go to Mumbai. And she comes across this offer where a Firang couple asks her to be a surrogate in return of money, and she takes the plunge and she does it. And at a point, they, for certain reasons, don't want the child and they go away. And it's also based on true events because these things have happened. There is one very particular incident that had happened in a similar manner where a foreign couple had just vanished after making this girl a surrogate. And then rules got stricter after that in our country as well. You can't just you are not allowed, like if you come from abroad, I don't think now you're allowed to surrogate someone from here. And I think rules got stricter in our country after that. So it's also based on such a sensitive subject. But when I heard the film, it is hilarious in bits. It's going to make you cry in bits. And the moment you're still wiping your tears, you'll crack up laughing. So it's one of those that has everything in it. When we talk about a female-centric film, when we talk about surrogacy as a subject, we kind of expect it to be serious, slightly arty, in what people say not commercial, and intense. Those are the words that you kind of think it's going to be like that. That's why we've been saying that it's nothing like what you're expecting, because it's not any of these. And I love the fact that a subject so serious, headlined by a woman, can be very, very commercial and can be very, very entertaining. And that's why I kind of felt that this was the right project for me to sort of have on my shoulders.
In our country, surrogacy and being a single mom is still looked upon with such a, with a lot of suspicion. We would like to believe that we are getting there. But, of course, there have been so many film actors. I think Sushmita has been one of them who, has been a single mother for a while. And they've tried to break this stigma that we have. That, women can't do it alone without a man, or if she wants to, or all of that. I feel like maybe unknowingly or something also, you also have felt strongly about it somewhere. I want to know what your thoughts on this are.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel surrogacy is such a nice way of, giving a child to a family who can't get it by themselves, firstly. So that is, it's supposed to be a very, very noble deed. Okay, yes, in our film, Mimi is doing it purely for selfish reasons because she wants the money. It's a different thing. But I feel, yeah, surrogacy is, there are so many people in our industry as well who have been able to get a child because of surrogacy. Yeah, whether it's even Karan, and
Karan.
Yeah. So I feel like it's such a nice thing to do in general.
Specifically about also being a single mother,
Being a single mother, one second, women can deliver a child, have the child in the womb for 9 months and deliver the child. Delivery is probably the most painful thing. I don't think men can go through it. So honestly, there is a delivery scene in the film, and when you see the film, I'm talking too soon, but when you see the film, Lakshman sir wanted to keep it very, very real. Delivery scenes mostly in films, especially in Hindi films, have been not shown in the real way, or have not been shown for too long, or have had a comic factor in it, and in a lighter thing and all of that. But he was like, I want to show it in a way where people, like a man sitting with the wife, looks at the wife and just feels like, my God, she did this. Because I think during the film, I have seen so many real footages of delivery scenes to kind of prep for it, because it's a feeling that I don't know about. I asked my mother that, does it, like, how is it, is it like very painful? To what extent? And the answer that I got was that, when I was delivering you, I thought I was going to die. So when a woman can do that, she can do anything,
Exactly.
Taking care of the child. I think motherly instincts are way stronger anyways, and to take care of I think a mother can do anything for her child. And I feel a father is very important, but if needed, she can do everything. She can be everyone for the child.
I remember you saying that the kind of pressure you had when you entered the industry to be this perfect person. They usually ask you to get stuff done, or you're not perfect, either you're too thin, you're not thin enough. But today when people are, the ones who join in, I feel like have it slightly better because they're not going through that same kind of prejudices that you guys went through. What do you think about that? What do you think about it?
Not at all. I don't think these things have changed, honestly.
Not really.
Not really. I'm telling you, there are a lot of people, basically, wherever you are, you'll have a lot of chatter around you. Everybody around you is going to have an opinion. everybody will say, अरे ये करना चाहिए, ये नहीं करना चाहिए, अरे तुम्हारी नाक ठीक नहीं है, तुम्हारे दांत थोड़े fix कराओ, तुम्हारे, things like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure girls today also, when they're entering, have a lot of pressures to look a certain way and be a certain way and be perfect and be heroinic. You know how Hindi film heroines are. So those pressures are there, but I think you need to. What I have always felt is that you need to know when to filter it and when to shut it. They might look at you in the beginning for how you look and the exterior, but eventually it is what is inside. It is your skills, it is what you get to the table, and it is how you connect with the audiences that eventually matters. So you have to have belief in yourself. When I also entered, there were people who were like, oh, your nose is slightly, like there's a bone that's slightly tida. The minute things. Of course, all of us are not perfect, but then that's what's great about you, right? That's what's unique. Like when I smile, I have this little skin here, which shows.
And that's so cute.
So I don't care. I don't want to have the perfect smile. I want to have a real smile. Yeah, I'm sure these pressures are still there. Might have actually increased.
You feel that?
Yeah, I feel them. They might have actually increased. It is eventually your belief, and you also need to have a reality check of close people. Your family, friends, those people who don't change with your success or your failure. So it's very important to have those around you and know then who to not listen to.
So of course, you always said that credit of a film should be given to everybody who's a part of the film, right? And today I feel more so because you've reached a position where you're getting offers like this. So tell me, how much has that changed for you today? Because you've got interesting offers, I want to see how they perceive you in the terms. The conversation about pay gap is still so jarring for everybody, right? But because between the male and the female actor. So I want to know how it is from you and your perspective for someone who has reached that position today through sheer hard work.
See, honestly, credit of the film, I feel like film is teamwork and it is everyone's film equally. There are people who kind of realize that, and when they talk about a film, on digital portals, they mention all the main lead actors. But I still feel like there are some who are going to call it a male actor's film. Even if the male and the female actor have equal role, you will never see it being called the female actor's film, but you might see it being called the male actor's film. So that is there. It is still there. It's slowly changing. I think people's mindsets are changing, and those who realize these minor things, just seeded so deep in that we realize when we do it. It's not like we have an intention of putting the female down, not at all. But it's spoken like that. So it's been a habit. So the habits take a little while to change, but I'm sure they will. And I'm sure that when you make an impact in a film, especially then, it's very hard to miss out your name. So that is there. Things for me, I think, to be honest, this is my release after like a very long time, 1.5 years or something. My last was Panipat, which was very long back. So I have kind of forgotten what it is to release a film. And
you are.
I have. Promotions are coming after so long. And I'm not used to doing this promotion like Zoom calls. And I'm still dressed up because for me it's promotions. I'm like, I have to dress it up. Even if I'm meeting someone through Zoom calls, it's fine. I need to feel of promotions. Pay parity is something that I feel, yes, there is a difference, and that difference has to a little bit change, get better. I do also understand the fact that you need to do certain films which are more on you, where you're attracting the audience in the theater. And if you attract more audience in the theater, your remuneration, your fees kind of simultaneously goes up. So when you're doing a smaller part in a more male oriented film, yes, it's not you're not the main reason why the film kind of got the numbers in the beginning, at least, maybe. So maybe it's related to that. So yes, you have to kind of prove yourself in these kind of films where you can, I'm sure that if tomorrow I'm attracting the same number of audience as say a Tiger by myself in the theaters, then my prices will go up. So I do feel that. Having said that, I feel that in general, when because our whole society is so patriarchal, has been so patriarchal, the balance is like this. So elevate this, you have to sometimes give a little more than normal to kind of make the balance go back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know sometimes men might feel that, "Arey, but it's only fair, then why so much cribbing?" But I feel like thoda extra love you have to put on this side so that it comes up.
The
And
scales come up a little and can compete together.
yeah, so I feel that things are changing, and they have been changing for a while. And there are so many more strips with such meteor parts. I think girls are also choosing not to just do films where they have nothing to do. But having said that, it's everyone's choice. Tomorrow you might do a film because you want to be a part of that project, and that's your reason. But there are options. There are so many more options on the table, which is a great thing.
It's been a very difficult year for everyone. The pandemic, with the theaters not being open, and so much more, right? Like everybody's mental health has really been affected. I'm talking to you after a really long time, so I want to know how you've been. I realized that we rarely ask people that. I want to know how you've been in the pandemic. I know it was difficult. I know you posted about Rafta, and of course, the relationship that you have with this film and the co-actors, especially Sushant and everybody else. I feel like you've been through so much as well. So while I can't give you a hug, I want to know how you've been through. I want to know how you've come out of this, because today I see you promoting a film like this, and it feels like the world will get better.
Well, thank you for asking that question. Firstly, it kind of like got a little lump in my throat while you were talking, because yes, it's very rare that we ask each other this genuinely.
Yeah.
I have been, I can say I've been okay. There were bits when I was obviously extremely low, and there were bits when I was not wanting to sort of talk to anyone or whatever. There were lows, and there were kind of okay moments. There were also I moments where I felt how blessed I am to kind of be with my family in this time, of the pandemic, and to be able to spend time with them, which probably I haven't spent so much time in years. That I got to do in this time, because we all were together. The fact that I had food on my plate, the fact that I was safe, the fact that I got COVID and I got over with it safely, and there were no complications, is blessing in its own. The fact that I ended up working in so many films. Work was something that I was craving for, because not only is it something that makes me feel alive and excited, and it is also sometimes a distraction from everything that you don't want to think about. And I finished almost about 3 films in the pandemic, which is, I mean, I can't be more thankful for that. A film that is so close to my heart, Mimi, which I have been obsessed about since like about 3 years, I think. I mean, I was able to finish it before the pandemic started. Otherwise, it would have been really tough, because I gained 15 kilos. And to kind of not finish it and be in the pandemic would have been miserable. So I was
How did you do
very
it?
lucky.
Oh my God.
I was so lucky. I just finished the film. I came back and there was a lockdown. I just touched all the wood that I had, and I prayed and I thanked God, because I was like, if I had to be with this 15 kgs for the continuity, would have been like something else. I don't know how I would have done it. So I think I always feel like whatever happens in my life, God has a way of taking care of me. And I really feel blessed for that. And I'm so happy. I mean, yeah, a part of me was feeling that I wish theaters were open, and I wish it was a normal time and this film was releasing in theaters, because I wanted to reach beyond the digital audience, and I want people to see it because it's so special. It talks about something so special and emotional, and it's going to make people laugh and leave them with a thought. But I think adapt is the new word. You have to kind of adapt to what we're going through, and the new normal. And I'm glad that it's coming out finally. People will get to see it. It might put a few smiles on people's faces. And it's something that a whole family can enjoy sitting at home. So I'm glad that it's going to people's houses now, and they have access to Mimi. I want to ask you back, how have you been, genuinely?
I've been okay. I've been I've been fine. Not too bad at all, actually. But I know, what you had to go through. I don't think I would have taken it as well as you did. So I'm very proud of you for that.
I always believe that anything that doesn't completely break you makes you stronger.
Yeah.
I feel that everything that we have gone through, in general, anybody in life, I feel like has always made them stronger eventually. So I'm just glad that I've had my family and my people around me.
Thank you so much. It was
Thank
lovely chatting with you, Prince. Always lots of love.
Ages.
Lots of love to you.